5. The Pig War. The Pig War, a British/American war, began when a British infantryman shot down a wild boar that was roaming American soil. Local American militias responded by gathering at the border and waiting for the British to take action. Eventually the British apologized and the short battle ended with the only casualties in the pigs. War duration, June-October 1859, 4 months. Losses, a pig. 4. 335-year war. This war was fought between the Netherlands and the Isle of Scilly, which is located off the southwest coast of Great Britain. The war started in 1651, but like many wars of that era it was not taken seriously and soon forgotten about. 3 centuries passed before the two countries finally agreed to a peace treaty in 1986, making their war the longest in human history. War duration, 1651 to 1986, 335 years. Casualties, none. 3. The Football War. Some wars begin with a surprise attack, others a massacre, but this one began with a football game between El Salvador and Honduras, in 1969. El Salvador lost the game and tensions rose until, on June 14, the El Salvadoran army launched an attack on Honduras. Surprised by the sudden violence, the Organization of American States organized a ceasefire that was put into effect on June 20, just 100 hours after the first shots were fired. War duration, June 14 to 20, 1969, 4 days. Casualties, 3,000 dead on both sides. 2. The Moldovan Transnistrian War. This war began shortly after the collapse of the Soviet Union, when the former Soviet bloc country of Moldova experienced a crisis. 2/3 of the country wanted closer ties with Romania, but the remaining third wanted to remain close with Russia. As a result, war erupted. But what makes this war truly strange is the fact that the men fighting each other during the day often gathered in no man's land at night to mingle and drink. Soldiers even made pacts not to shoot each other if they saw each other during battle the next day. And this wasn't a one-time thing, it happened nearly every night for the duration of the war. One soldier wrote in his journal, "The war is like a grotesque party. During the day we kill our enemy, during the night we drink with them." What a bizarre thing war is. War duration, March 2 to July 21, 1992, 4 months. Casualties, 1,300 dead on both sides. 1. The Emu War. This is perhaps the only formal war where one of the belligerents was not human, but rather avian. In 1932, the emu population in Australia was growing out of control, with an estimated 20,000 emus running around the Australian desert and causing havoc among crops. In response, the Australian military sent out a task force of soldiers armed with machine guns to kill the emus and even jokingly declared war on them. In mid-November they drove out into the desert and proceeded to hunt down any emus they could find. However, they ran into complications. The emus proved remarkably resilient. Even when struck by multiple machine gun bullets, they continued to run away, easily outstripping the heavily laden soldiers. The Emu War lasted for nearly a week before Major Meredith, the commander of the emu killing task force, gave up in disgust after the soldiers only bagged a fraction of the elusive birds. War duration, November 11 to 18, 1932, 7 days. Casualties, 2,500 emus.